Yeah, obviously really pleased with our kids' effort and the plans of the coaches. Really good win. Every win's a team win. We always talk about that. There's no such thing as not a team win. There's 160 snaps, and you need, but some games, lower scoring, higher scoring, like really everything we need to do on both sides of the ball. I thought our offense was the key. Bake always talks about the best defense is a good offense, and Saturday is only a 10-possession game against a very potent Ball State offense. We had 2 3-and-outs the whole day. We moved the ball. We had 35 minutes of possession, which limited Plitt and Hall, and it's just not Plitt and Hall. They got other really good players, but obviously limited their offense, which is, like they said, they hung 57 on Western like 2 weeks ago. Western's pretty darn good, really good on defense, and so they're just really explosive offensively. So our offense just all game moving the football. Then obviously, down, get a key drive late, score, take the lead, get the 2-point play to put us up 7. Obviously, huge 4th down conversion. We were really good on 3rd down, 1 for 1 on 4th down, which was obviously huge. Defense, really the first time in 5 years we've defended Hall and done a good job. We held him to 42 yards of total offense, well below what he's getting, just no home run. I mean, he's had big plays against us since his freshman year, and he's done against everybody else, so I'm not knocking us. I'm just saying he's a hard guy to keep in check the whole game like we did. They do such a good job utilizing him all different ways. But we had a good plan. The kids executed the plan. Tons of big plays. There's a bunch of plays when you watch the tape, like if you don't make that play, you probably don't win the game. If you don't make that play, you don't, but none bigger than obviously Sterling's at the end. They'd hit us on two box corner routes for, the first touchdown was set up by a 40-yard, box corner. They hit another one earlier on that drive. That drive was basically the same play early, so this is the 3rd time, and, Sterling basically decided we're not going to let him throw that one again, because they had 2 huge chunk plays, probably two for 2 for 70 yards on the day on that play, or 60 yards probably, and then Sterling makes a big-time interception, obviously in a huge moment. So on the road, down again, you lose the lead, you're down again, backs against the wall, and kids really responded. Offensively, I thought we ran it okay. We got to continue to try to run it better, but we ran okay. We had some chunk runs again, which were huge, getting those explosives. And then obviously Brett was 20 for 24. We talked about earlier this year about our pass game not being very efficient, and now you've got back-to-back weeks where we were really efficient against Akron, and then we were really efficient back-to-back weeks. And again, is it good quarterback play? Yeah, it's been great quarterback play the last 2 weeks, but it's also protections and route running and timing, and it just has looked very fluid and smooth. Guys are making cuts and the ball's there, and it's a lot of thing in rhythm and a lot of thing on time. So he obviously really good, really decisive with the ball and getting the ball to reading coverages, getting the ball to the open guy, and just taking what they give us. We threw the ball short, we threw it intermediate, we threw it down the field, just taking, they pressure play man, we hit Jack on a go ball. They play zone, we throw the hitch out to the flat, that's wide open. They do something else, we hit the dig in behind the backer. So really decisive, really good reads. So did everything we have to find a way to beat the defending MAC champs, and we know they're a really good team. I think they're as good as anybody in the league. I'm not saying they're the best team in the league, but I think they're as good as any team in the league. And I thought it was a great football game. I thought they played well. I thought we played well, and I thought we made one more play than they did.
Questions? I guess if Gabbert had any rust on him, it wasn't much of it. He got it together and performed very well last week.
Yeah, pretty amazing, because he hasn't really thrown a live ball in, since the first half of the Central Michigan game. Probably the last time he really threw, really let one rip. Maybe a couple in practice this week, but he's really been on the shelf just resting, and then to go out there and play that good. And again, our offense the last 2 weeks, but just continues, we're executing better. And again, it starts with the quarterback, but it filters through the whole offense, and people are doing what they're supposed to do, and then Brett's making good decisions, and at times it looks pretty easy. It looks so smooth, and we're in rhythm, and you're in flow like any good offense. They get in rhythm, and so he didn't for being out and not throwing, to come out and go 20 for 24 is, he's pretty accurate. He's always pretty accurate. So that's one of his calling cards is decision-making, release, and accuracy. He's pretty good at those three.
Okay, so now you're getting into the annual midweek schedule. What's the schedule for your team look like this week?
Yeah, we get a couple extra days, which is nice. Obviously, I'm sure OU feels the same way. These couple extra days, mentally and physically, to heal some wounds and mentally recharge a battery because you got 4 left. The nice thing, like we said, it's Tuesday, so we don't have to keep flipping Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, and short weeks. And there's no short weeks. Then we're back to the last week on Saturday against Kent. So we will. Like we told the team, we'll use the extra time for some extra practice for sure. We're going to spend more time practicing for OU. We're going to be overly prepared for OU. There's no doubt about that. We're also going to spend some time to heal. We got a good recovery day today. We're going to have another recovery day on Thursday, mentally and physically. Get your classes in orders. We're registering coming up, so we got some things we got to take care of with registration. So using the extra time to our advantage, both academically and then both football wise, and then both physically and mentally. So it's nice. It's nice to have this little three day extra deal, and we're going to certainly take advantage of it.
Is there anything you've been able to identify on the kicking thing here? Had a couple, going askew.
Yeah, he pushed the extra point. Again, he just missed out. The week before it was the whole battery was a disaster. So that was the extra points really his first miss of, and then he missed a 51-yarder. He hit it a little bit left. So, like I said, 2 weeks ago was battery issues that we weren't getting the ball down and the ball was coming out like about 5 yards. Something was wrong. You can't kick it that short without something being muddled. And then, like I said, he pushed the 1 extra point. His other kicks were fine. He was 51-yarders, had plenty of distance. It's hard to make 51-yard field goals, but he had plenty of, it definitely got there. It just pulled it left a little bit, so.
All right, so Ohio, new coaching staff, what can you tell us about them?
Yeah, and again, new head coach, but I mean, the coaching staff's intact. I mean, they look like Ohio. This league is so, Ohio's sitting at 1-7. They're running similar stuff. Obviously, no one runs the exact same stuff every year, but they got their whole staff back besides their head coach. The guy that took over has been with Frank forever. They don't look any different. They've always been tremendously coached. They've always played really hard. They look the same. I've watched 7 of the 8 games in its entirety already. And this is the MAC. Like, you play a tough non-league schedule and you start 1-3 or 0-4 in their case, and they get upset in one game where they don't play very good. They didn't play a bad game against Northwestern. Northwestern, it's a 17-point game in the fourth quarter. It's a pretty good game. They haven't scored points, but they moved it some. They play Louisiana Lafayette, who's really, really good, and so they start. So your non-league record is what it is. Then if you don't get off to a good start in the league, it looks like you're no good. Like, they beat Akron, okay, we beat Akron. They beat them 34-17, we beat them 34-21, okay. We beat Central by, we end up winning by 10, but we're down in the fourth quarter. Central, no one that watched our Central game, that's a toss-up game between Miami Central. We found a way to make some plays down the stretch and beat Central, They lose to Central 30-27, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The week after we beat Central by basically 1 score, they lose to Central by 3. The next week, they got Buffalo way down, and they end up losing in the last seconds to Buffalo by a point. And then last week, they have a debacle first quarter. Their first drive, they have 3rd down and 1. They get stuffed on 3rd and 4th and 1, turnover on downs. Okay, credit Kent makes good defensive plays, but I'm sure they're thinking that's a missed opportunity. They had a short field. Then they turn over 3 of the next 4 possessions. They go fumble, pick. 2 of them inside the 20. The fumble's on the 10, the pick's in the end zone. So they're down there, and then the other fumble sets up a short field for Kent to score, and they end up losing to Kent 34-27. Like, it should have been a blowout. If they don't have 3 turnovers and a turnover on downs the first 4, they lose by 7 points to Kent State. They're 11 points from being 4-0 in the league right now. If you watch the games, okay, it's like they lost by 1, they lost by 3, they lost by 7. If they scored 12 more points in those games, just like our Eastern Michigan game, we score 1 point, win the game. They've been in your typical MAC games. They're 1-3 in the league. Now they look, they're no good. I'm like, they don't look much different than they're running the ball really, really well. They're running the ball on everybody. They got good receivers. They played 2 quarterbacks. They both can throw it. One throws it more, one runs it more, but they're both capable of running it. Defense, they're playing their 4-3 quarters, one high. They're running their pressures. It's all, they get after you. They haven't given up a lot of points this year. Northwestern had a hard time scoring on them. So they've played really good defense. So the record isn't what we expect from Ohio. Then it's the Battle of the Bricks. It's Miami, Ohio. It's going to be, so I know a lot of people, oh, they're not very good. They're not bad. Like, they're not bad. Trust. They look like Ohio. You know, it looks like it's going to be a dogfight. It looks like it's going to be you're on the road on Tuesday night in Athens. It's not going to be an easy place to play, and you got to have the same mindset we've had the last 4 weeks to just keep grinding, find a way. You know, besides the Akron game, they've all come down to probably one play in the fourth quarter, and, you know, 2 of them we've got it done, and 1 of them we didn't get it done, and we're sitting at 3-1.
Last week, we talked about Ball State and some of the trick-or-giving plays and everything. You came out, you had a running back pass there. How'd that work in practice during the week? Where'd that all come from?
Yeah, offensively, it's good that they pulled that out, and Jay Walk made a pretty awesome pass because he was under duress. He kind of threw a hook shot and then got in a good spot, and Jack went and got it. So that we executed that really well, considering it really wasn't an easy throw for a receiver. And then, to me, OU's the same way. OU's back in 2016, they did the double reverse, throw it back to the tight end. They do double passes every week. They're another team that loves the trick play, and they've used them effectively. And we've seen them for years. They have receivers throw passes. They run reverses. They pitch it back to the quarterback. Like I said, they had a big one in 17 on us at the tight end. They ran their reverse to Poppy, but then he pitched it back to Rourke, and Rourke threw it to the tight end. And then every game I've watched this year, they haven't execute them all. I was just watching a reverse throw back to Rourke, the younger brother, who's a quarterback, and roaring down the sidelines against Syracuse for about 35 yards. So they've got a few of them too. So.